Hey, we're back with another episode of Radio News Radio, whatever the hell we're still calling this show. It's me, your host, Ethan, and today's going to be a bit of a short one, but nonetheless, there is some news to cover, and I figured these were small little tidbits, and a lot of it seems to be focused around movies and TV shows, so that's what we got for today, so buckle in. If you like what you hear, go ahead and like the video, share. We do appreciate it. It helps a bunch. I've been having a lot of fun making thumbnails, and they make me laugh, and hopefully they're making you guys laugh as well. So let me know. Do these tickle your fancies, or they're dog shit? Do you even know what a thumbnail is? Let us know. We're gonna kick things off with mostly movie and TV show. We're gonna go with TV shows first and make our way into movies. But the first news of the day, the one that is what dropped not too long ago, or at least today at the time of this recording, is the Season 2 of Wednesday is officially coming for Netflix. They said that the first part is going to be in August, while the second part is going to be in September. Now, I think the trailer looks great, and I really did like the first season of Wednesday. It definitely took everybody by storm. Has that Harry Potter feel mixed in with, the great old Addams Family vibes. I think the show's great. Of course, everybody likes this actress. She's great, and I'm blanking on her name right now. That's not good. Let's go ahead and do a little research while we talk about it. But for starters, my main concern with this is that I personally do not care for Netflix and this this weird, splitting up seasons and highly anticipated shows and putting it into, two parts. I don't know what the deal is with that. I personally don't care for it. I also feel like this was a bit of a major oversight, given that this is very popular. The Wednesday show did really well. Of course, there was the the dancing bit that took over storm with the Lady Gaga song, and people doing little trends and shit like that. But it was an overall great show. Her name is Jenna Ortega, by the way. I don't know why I was blanking on that. She's been in some great stuff. I loved her in Beetlejuice 2 or Beetlejuice. There was Death of Unicorn, which was pretty decent. I didn't mind that. She's been everywhere as of late, and so she embodies Wednesday pretty well. I'd say she's pretty much right up there with the original Christina Ricci. I like both of them as the character. The character's great. The second season's shaping up to be great. What I don't like is the fact that Netflix is kind of divvying this up into two parts. It feels kind of like a massive oversight. I feel almost as if they should have just released it all at once. Not in August or September, but just at the peak of October. You got your Spook Your Mama season going on with Halloween and scary movies. And the Addams Family is almost all synonymous with October and Halloween in general. So it just feels like a missed opportunity. Plus, if you start it and you drop it all at once in October, or at least at the beginning, you have chance for people to kind of watch that as you go along. To my knowledge, there isn't too many horror things coming out around there, and no offense, but even if there were, people really like Wednesday. They really like the Addams Family, and this is one of those banger shows on Netflix, so we'll see. I personally am not too pleased with the whole splitting the season up into two parts. That's dumb. Whatever the reasons are, whatever it is, what it is. But it will be a thing of the past. This is first world issues. I just figured I'd talk about it. Where I was excited when I watched the trailer. I was like, oh, this looks great. I'm excited for this. And then, at the very end there, they're like, part 1, part 2. And I'm like, fuck me. Seriously. But, hey, speaking about being disappointed, we got a teaser for Earth Day. We're from FX and Hulu for the TV show Alien Earth. They did a public service announcement with Neil deGrasse Tyson doing the voiceover, acting as if it were, an Animal Planet episode. And instead, it kind of, turned into an alien being, embryoed inside the Earth core or something like that. I have no idea what this show is other than I guess aliens and the egg and queen or whatever the fuck has managed to make its way to Earth for the first time since, well, Alien versus Predator 1 and 2. So this isn't too new. But there isn't too many synopses other than, what, like the what if of if an alien were on Earth. This show is set to be coming out this summer, and it is baffling to me how little they are marketing this. Again, I love these things. I don't bitch and complain about things like Wednesday and Alien Earth because, I'm a hater or I just don't give a shit. I care deeply about these IPs. I love this stuff. I love shows. I love TV shows. I love movies. I love these IPs. This is something that I'm, into. That's why we have this show. It's all to cover pop culture, mostly video games, but we do dabble in TV shows, as is this episode. Is mostly focused on, TV and movies, but it's not all glum news. If you like what you see, there's definitely some alien footage at the very end there, but it's just like, it's a nothing burger, and it's making me crave more, and I'm desperately wanting more information on Alien Earth, and it is so close, but we still don't have any information on on the product as is. Hey, speaking of out of nowhere, we got another Amazon movie with John Cena and Idris Elba. It is called Heads of State. Now, this one is coming in the summer, around June-ish, apparently. I have no idea where John Cena finds the time to do these movies. He's in WWE, currently doing his 25th anniversary retirement tour, as our good friend James here let him know that he's on his farewell tour. Just live. What are the odds that he puts that in the chat while I'm recording? That's great stuff. I'm wondering though, like, is this the end of the Amazon era of John Cena? Because he was signed up to do, like, apparently 3 movies with the likes of Ricky Stenicki and Jackpot being the first 2 films. Now, out of those 2 movies, I didn't mind Jackpot. Ricky Stenicki was pretty dumb, though. Like, you have to be in the mood to watch it. It's goofy. It's not really all that funny, in my opinion. I think it's a bit stupid at times. But yeah, both of those star John Cena, or he's like accompanied that. Jackpot was okay-ish. If you really don't care for Aquafina, then you're really gonna fucking hate Jackpot. But the whole deal is, it's like a purge day where people buy a lottery ticket, and if there's a person that gets chosen, and then they go and they have to survive for 24 hours while everybody in the state of California hunts them down and kills them. If they kill them, they get the prize money. If they stay alive, they get the prize money. And then there's like this, there's these companies that offer protection, but you have to give up a percentage of your winnings. And one of them is like a kind of a merc, kind of like a standalone guy, and that's John Cena, and he protects Aquafina throughout it. Silly movie, decent enough parts of it, kind of like, a predictable story. But these have been like, they feel like straight to DVD movies. And so this new movie that's coming out, I know that we went on a bit of a tangent there, but this new movie that is coming out is called Head of State. It stars John Cena and Idris Elba. John Cena is supposed to be the president. He was a ex-movie star turned president. And Idris Elba is the Prime Minister of the UK, or England, or whatever the hell you want to call it. They go on a mission, and it's very much something goes wrong, and then they have to, like, actually legit act out one of his, like, movies or something, and they're on the hunt, or it makes no sense, because, again, these people are supposed to be, like, the top-notch, leaders of the world, but they're caught up in, like, a Far Cry situation. You're like, whatever. I don't know. It looks action-packed. It is directed by the director of Nobody, so expect to see some action, some tight shots, and a little bit of some neat cut footage here and there. Outside of that, I mean, I don't really, Don't know what to make of it other than it's the last. I'm more curious on how the hell he has time to be doing all these movies. And those movies that I just mentioned with Ricky Stenicki, Jackpot, and now Head of State have been filmed like back to back almost. They were like, one after the other. It wasn't too long those other films came out. So it's insane how much time this dude has to be making movies and stuff. He's got a crazy work ethic, so good for John Cena. And we're moving on to another film here. Late after I released the last episode for Radio News, they announced I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I got a little bit of a bone to pick. I know I've been a little bit too negative throughout this episode, but I got a bone to pick with this because first and foremost, we have I Know What You Did Last Summer, and then I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and then, a really shitty TV show reboot in Hawaii with lesbians and shit. It was dog shit, Anyways, first, I Know What You Did Last Summer is great-ish. It's a neat little concept. Second one is cringe, kind of stupid, just kind of, your typical, I'm a guy who knows a guy who knew a guy because now I'm pissed, I knew this guy, and because of that, I'm a long-lost family member, so now I'm pissed, and I'm going to come kill you guys. I've always felt that this franchise was kind of, I felt like the first one should have been a one and done. It's a neat concept. Somebody knows that you did some shit, and now they're coming back to haunt you, years later, or a year later in this case, and they're going on a killing spree. I always thought that the best bet for I Know What You Did Last Summer, to keep calling it that and just calling it something different at the end of it, I feel like they should have just ditched the What You Did Last Summer and said I Know What You Did, and then made an anthology series where they just kept, doing different things where somebody did something. And it didn't have to always be somebody died or they tried to cover up a killing. But it could have also been, hey, this dude, he's been racketeering and insider trading the whole time, and he's on the verge of doing that. Or, this dude's got an affair or something going on, or something to do with a group of people doing something like embezzling. I always felt like this could have been a series that could have been an anthology series where we follow a different group of people doing some sort of crime, and the jig is up. Somebody's found out, and they're going around basically trying to be a serial killer, and maybe, just maybe, continuing the legacy of the hook-handed fisherman man, and just using it like Scream, where people kind of use the mask as as an inspiration for killing. They're just copycat killing, Oh, here's this guy, and he's it's supposed to be like a ghostly figure because he's coming out of the woodwork a year after doing something horrible, or, years later. So that's where I think that the franchise should have gone. Instead, it just fucking went nowhere. And here we have it's called a legacy sequel. It is not a reboot, because we do in fact have some of the people that survived the instances of both I Know What You Did Last Summer and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, in the form of Jennifer Love Hewitt as the main character, and Freddie Prinze Jr. as the pro-secondary main character, male muchacho guy who's, survives the first one. I don't remember if he's in the second one. I know for a fact, though, that Jennifer Love Hewitt was in both of the original two films. I don't know about Freddie Prinze Jr. I know he was in the first one, though. Regardless, the story looks the absolute identical. The kids are driving, and they fucking smack somebody. They take them, they dump them in the fishing area, and they agree never to talk about it. And then a year later, shit starts coming up, and people get picked off one by one. Guess fucking what? Why is this kind of a problem for me? My problem is, how in the hell are you about to tell me that the exact same thing happened decades later, and now not only did the exact same thing, but the exact same scenario played out? Oh, we just happened to be driving, and we killed a dude by accident when we ran him over, and then we fucking dumped his body, and now he's coming back a year later. Identical to what happened to Jennifer Love Hewitt, who just so happens to be living in the same area in the neck of the woods of where it happened, and so it just seems my suspension of disbelief is just fucking out the window. I don't see this movie doing too well. It is being nestled in that June, July-ish, movie era where we've got Jurassic Park Extinction or whatever it's called. That's the extinction of what the fuck it's called. Well, regardless, of Jurassic Park, Fantastic Four: First Steps, Superman. My goodness, you got a lot of big titles coming out. Fucking Smurfs, let's go. I don't think anybody's too keen to go see a rather unambitious, paint by numbers horror movie of a niche slasher flick that most people didn't really kill. If you saw the trailer, there was some interesting cuts. I will say the spear gun smashing the shit out of this dude over and over again was pretty cool. But outside that, I mean, will I give it a watch? Probably. Will I go see it in theater? Absolutely not. I don't see the point. I'm not going to be spending money on that. Hey, speaking about not spending money, let's go ahead and transition to video games. We do have some video game news here for you. We also have one more news for TV shows, but we'll get into that because I got a great segue for it. So right here we got we have to kind of make an addendum to one of our older episodes where we clarified that the Nintendo Switch 2 GameCube controller will not work with non-GameCube classic games. Well, Nintendo has clarified that the compatibility concerns surround its all-new Nintendo GameCube controller, confirming that there may be issues using it to play contemporary Nintendo Switch 2 games, which means it is capable of playing several games, but in terms of fidelity, I guess the games that require you to use it, the right stick essentially becomes the C stick, or the original C stick, not that stupid fucking compatible thing. Again, if you're holding a GameCube controller, let me go ahead and hold one right here. I guess that can feel a bit awkward, but if you grew up with the Nintendo GameCube and you love the GameCube controller like I do, I love the GameCube controller. It's one of my favorite controllers. This may have just saved me actually buying this accessory. Will I still get a Nintendo Switch 2? No, I'm still in camp. No. I will not be getting a Nintendo Switch 2 for at least a good long while. Now, birthday, Christmas, if somebody wants to, fork out one or something like that, I'm not going to be opposed to it. Of course, I love games. I'm going to definitely get a Switch 2 at some point, but for its launch day and around its launch, I'm just not interested. I really don't have any, desire to play the Nintendo Switch 2 right now, which hurts my feelings. It does. I want to be hyped for consoles. I want to be hyped for new stuff, but I don't know. I'm not as into the Nintendo as I like to. The Nintendo Switch goes unused for months on end. Then I get these spurs and I start playing it. But let me know what you all think about this. Do you think that them clarifying this, does this help you in any way? Does this push the goalpost a little further back or forward? Are you going to get a Nintendo GameCube controller classic when you get a Nintendo Switch 2? Or if you ever get one, let us know. I want to know what everybody's thinking about this one, because I it seems every day whenever there's new news for the Nintendo Switch 2, I'm always like, oh, great, what is it now, right? I'm expecting the worst. And even when it's something positive like this, where it's like, okay, well, guess what? It actually does work. We're sorry that the box said that. We're sorry that, that kind of, the misinformation surrounding the Nintendo GameCube Classic controller for the Nintendo Switch 2. What a fucking mouthful. This should be a good news, but I guess we're just so overwhelmed with the negative, and we're just so overwhelmed with the, but I gotta go out and buy this for that, and this price and that, and what have you, and still pay $50 for the online just to have access to the Nintendo GameCube games, of which there are only 3, one of which is a racing game. It's hard to get excited for this. So I hope that they can turn it around. I hope that more good news comes out regarding the Nintendo Switch 2. But as of now, I mean, this thing's a lot sooner than a lot of people know. I mean, we're almost out of April, got the rest of May, and then there it is. 5 days into June, and here she is. The new Nintendo home console, Nintendo Switch 2. So, enough doom and gloom. Let's move on to some other video game news. Hey, for all our PlayStation 5 players that are actually playing on the PlayStation 5 and looking for an actual exclusive for a change, the Ghost of Yotei has an official collector's edition, and the digital deluxe edition has been detailed. And an official release date has also been picked with October 2nd, 2025. Now, if they'll keep that release date, we'll see. I think they're going to, though. From what I've gathered, the game's pretty much done. It's just going through some QA tests and a few, marketing shits and little goofs and gaffs here. It'll definitely be playable at the State of Play during the summer. So expect to see more of Ghost of Yotei when that launches. Interestingly enough, though, I'm curious because Furudo Japan seems to be all the rave now with video games right now. And as it's dying down, Assassin's Creed Shadows has done it running its course. The Last Ronin did what it had to do. The Yakuza games, going strong with their fandom. There's a few other games that I'm not, able to think of at this moment. But Ghost of Yotei seems to be the end of the trend. The last one before the next trend in gaming starts to kick around. Do you think people are tired of it? Do you think it'll affect the sales? Do you think no way in hell that the other one did so well? Or, people know the brand now that they're going to go play Sucker Punch's next game, Goes to Yotei? Let us know down below. I personally didn't care too much for it. I tried it and I was just like, I do still have it. Eventually I will get around to it, but as of now, I'm just not interested in, hack and slashing shit at the moment. I'm trying to play some newer stuff. Hey, speaking of playing stuff, we were right about Oblivion, and it seems that's not only what's around the corner. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and talk about Fallout, the TV show, getting a 4K Steelbook edition bundle with art cards and a bunch of other additional goodies here. It'll retail for $39.99. You can go ahead and pre-order that on Amazon right now if you want to get it. No official release date for this, but if you really enjoyed the TV show, and I definitely believe that it was one of the highlights of last year, I think it was definitely a really great video game TV show. I loved it a lot. It's right up there with the first season of The Last of Us. In my opinion, I think it's better. Last of Us is just copy and pasting Fallout. Actually did its own thing. And normally that kind of goes, shit, right? As it just does its own thing. But I actually really like the world that they build and the authenticity of Fallout in general. My phone. But that leads us into the next thing. With Oblivion going strong. Absolute great sales. Absolutely happy and proud of it for people that are absolutely into the Oblivion series and the Elder Scrolls series. I've always been a Fallout boy. But you know what? It's great to see that it is doing well. And when things like this happen, you can tell that a domino effect is starting to take place. And my running theory has always been that if they do something like this, and they did, chances are they're probably going to do Fallout 3 next. And guess what? Wouldn't you know it? Rumors starting to circulate around that Fallout 3 is indeed the next thing that they are working on. Well, allegedly, but just like the Oblivion game, it is kind of becoming the worst kept secret, or the next worst kept secret. They outsourced it, apparently. There's word is that they outsourced it to the company that's been porting a bunch of other games as of late, including but not limited to the Metal Gear Master Collection that came out not too long ago. So we'll see where that ends up going. It looks like Microsoft is pretty much taking a bunch of studios and telling them, we got all these IPs and they're coming to their anniversary years and stuff like that. Why not do something special for them? So, and this is what they had in plan. Well, it looks like that's it for the news for the day. This was a pretty, uneventful episode, I know. But we had some of this news. I didn't want it to pad out another episode. And I talked a decent bit about it. I mean, 25 minutes ain't too bad, right? But thank you guys for listening. Thanks for watching this far. I don't know if you guys are watching or just listening, but either way, I thank you. And again, do the usual, like, subscribe, share if you can, talk about it with friends. I really hope that this is helpful to people that, are busy with their busy days and shit's going on and they can't exactly keep up with all the articles. So, that's where we come in, and our team's working around the clock to supply articles. I also ask friends and family, hey, what's something you're interested in? And we'll try and include it into these episodes. So I'm really happy with how these are turning out, and I'm happy with the responses to these as well. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. I know it's a little mushy. I know it wasn't off the cuff and crazy. It's been a bit of a morning. It's been very, I don't know, just one of those mellow days. But thanks for listening again, and we will see you on the next episode of News Radio. I did it normal this time, you see. Bye.